Hello, this is Jerry Mitchell, and we are back with another episode of the Libertarian Uncensored podcast, going over all the posts on Libertarian Uncensored subreddit. Let's get right into it. So first we have, Biden says he is dropping out of presidential race as Democrats prepare to pass the torch, from CNBC, and I posted that, and I said, interested to see if they go with Kamala or an open convention from here. And it looks like the first statement made it seem like it was going to be an open convention, the statement that Biden just posted to his Twitter account, but then he seemed to endorse her a few minutes later, so I guess they'll go for her. I think they probably will go for her for legal reasons, and because they know that no one can really beat Trump, so they might as well just use her as a sacrificial lamb. And, she's just going to be the easiest for her to get to transfer all the money to and all that. And, yeah, that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Joe Biden ends re-election campaign from BBC.com by Flimsy Out 5563, and I said, I guess that means good Biden, bottom, like the kind of the drum roll, that you get after the puns, so good Biden, goodbye to Biden, and it looks like they're gonna go with Harris from here on out, and yeah, and then we have with Biden stepping aside and endorsing Harris, let's review Harris's public service record, and that's from Catdog Curmudgeon, and that's a video from Reason TV. Kamala Harris, drug warrior, vice cop, draconian prosecutor, and I said, Kamala really doesn't have too much going for her other than being a black woman. You can tell by how her 2020 campaign for POTUS went, and how she only got the VP slot since Biden wanted to play identity politics. And, she didn't even make it to the first primary in the 2020 Dem primaries. And, Biden only really picked her because he said he needed a black woman. And other than that, she really doesn't have too much going for her. That's why I don't think she'll win. No one's really passionate about her. The only reason she's there is because she's a black woman. If she was a white man, she would not be in the position she's in right now. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Redditors are getting sterilized because Biden dropped out from Reddit Lies on Twitter, and I posted that. And I said, and then it's a screenshot from the Millennial subreddit. Dark Dragoon 324 said, "We're fucked. I need to get my uterus removed while I still have some bodily autonomy left. I refuse to live in the fucking Handmaid's Tale." And they got replies from a few other people. I need to do the same. I was already planning on it, but now my time is going to be much different. I had mine removed last month, just in the nick of time, apparently. And then another person says, I got my hysterectomy in December. Do it. Recovery was much easier than I thought it would be. Check out r/hysterectomy. And I said in response, the vast majority of Redditors are not mentally healthy people. I do speak from first-hand experience, I should say. A little self-depreciating humor there. And, and my thoughts there are, it just goes to show you that Reddit is really just, bot, shields, and hysterical crazy people at this point. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have poll, will Biden resign the presidency prior to election day? And I posted that and I said voted no. Dems have quite a predicament. They want to mark Kamala as the incumbent, and they know that Biden is publicly unfit to lead, but they need to keep dangling that first female POTUS carrot above voters' heads. And so the votes currently are 6 votes for yes, 10 votes for no, 4 votes for abstain. And yeah, that's why I personally think, they're not going to give Kamala the presidency, even if Biden literally is dead. A lot of people are saying he might be dead right now, but we don't know for sure. But I don't think they'll ever come out and say he's dead, because they don't want Kamala to be the POTUS, because then she loses, they can't market her as the first female POTUS anymore. I guess they could still say, she's the first female POTUS to get elected, but other than that, if she actually gets the title, then, it's electing her really doesn't change much. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have, is Trump now the oldest person ever to run for president? And how does this affect the GOP given that Trump is declining mentally? From theatlantic.com by Donald Key. And I said, Trump is old and incompetent, but also Hitler who will institute Project 2025. The enemy is both strong and weak. And that's a tactic a lot of people do when they want to make the enemy seem strong, but also weak. And as you see, a lot of people do that on both sides, and this is definitely an example of that. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Nazi votes get Taiwan invaded from Nathan RH, and they said, so what's on the line? Doesn't matter to us real libertarians. We recognize authoritarianism like a wolf recognizes rabbit. There are Nazis afoot in America in 2024. Libertarian knows that. Libertarian means power to the people. Taiwan has been more libertarian than China. China wishes to invade Taiwan, and very likely will if Americans turn less libertarian, more authoritarian. China has an army that they do not need, and are not selling. They are not need to mean to threaten their neighbors. It is not in America's interest. Their neighbors are fruitful. They are more libertarian than China. More power to the people. We love them. We devour all cultures, just like our colonial American brothers. Taiwan is good for the U.S., and if China sees America turn more authoritarian, will tax neighbors. That expensive army they don't need, and you have been investing in. That's what's at stake with your vote. If you vote Nazi, then the Pacific will join the carrying capacity war. And I said in response, China is invading Taiwan regardless of who wins. If anything, Trump is the more hawkish one when it comes to war with China. And that's my fault on that issue. Either the Dems win and you get World War III for Russia, or the Republicans win and you get World War III for China. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Republicans Can't Make Up Their Minds, humor from CH for Locks, and that's a crossword from the Politically Humor subreddit. And it's the guy says Joe Biden needs to drop out. The other guy says he just dropped out. The other guy says we're going to sue to keep him on the ballot. And the other guy says, do you want to run for president or not? And the other guy says, I don't even know anymore. And I think that just goes to show you that he's dropping out so late. That he's probably already on the ballot and they have to sue to keep it to change the ballots and all that. It's all too complicated for me. I just think I think all ballots should probably just be written at this point. It's just the ballot system has just gotten too complicated for a lot of people, I would say. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Reddit, all cops are bastards. And that's self-post line made. And I said also Reddit, we need to vote for the cop over the convicted felon so we can save our democracy. And that just goes to show you that, it doesn't really matter what Reddit says. It matters what they do. And they'll fall for whatever narrative the TV tells them to do every single day of the week. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have kangaroo courts at Princeton have 98% conviction rate in sexual assault cases from legalinstruction.com by Leaf. And I said in response, between this and the 34 charges that Trump got in New York, it should come as no surprise why most Americans don't trust the legal system anymore. You have the last relationship with the Supreme Court as well. And that just goes to show you that, people will trust the legal system if it rules in their favor, but if it doesn't, it just goes to show you that, it's not entitled to public trust. And that's my fault on that issue. If people won't trust the legal system, that's on them, but it just goes to show you that, it's not entitled to public trust, just like the government as a whole is. And that's my thoughts there. Then we have the employment effects of a guaranteed income from Lemon Limelight, and they said, from a National Bureau of Economic Research working paper, the employment effects of a guaranteed income, experimental evidence from 2 U.S. states, emphasis added, and they added, we study the causal impacts of income of a rich array of employment outcomes, leveraging an experiment in which 1,000 low-income individuals were randomized into receiving $1,000 per month unconditionally for 3 years. The transfer caused total individual income to fall by about $1,500 per year relative to the control group, excluding transfers. The program resulted in a 2.0 percentage point decrease in labor market participation for participants and a 1.3 to 1.4 hour per week reduction in labor hours. The transfer generated the largest increases in time spent on leisure. We observed no significant effects on investments in the human capital. The younger persons may pursue more formal education. Overall, our results suggest a moderate labor supply effect that does not appear offset by our productive activities. And they added, basically, recipients of guaranteed income generally work less, but they didn't spend the new free time looking for better jobs or getting education. Instead, they just spent more time on leisure. Interestingly, there were some spillover effects as recipients' partners also worked less by a comparable amount for a greater combined negative impact on household income. However, recipients did show more interest in entrepreneurship, which has the potential to increase future earnings. Overall, and in my opinion, these aren't enough results for guaranteed income ideas of policymakers have long-term economic benefits in mind. Hopefully they do. You can read the full paper here and a link to an article, the paper from evolvivate.com. And, that's my thoughts on that issue. I think if people want to pay for universal basic income, I think they should be able to. With that being said, it might make a lot of people less productive since they have guaranteed money coming in. And I would agree with the findings of the study. That people might get less productive since they have guaranteed money coming in. They don't have to worry about about earning resources. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Kamala Harris raises nearly $50 million after Biden endorsement from Reuters.com by Winter Trabex. And I said in response, it's all a grift. I think all political fundraising is a grift, to be fair. A fool and his money are soon parted. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have FAQ Sabra El Sindicalismo at Sax Suiza from libertamen.wordpress.com by Maitesta Fiesta. And that just seems to be some Spanish language website where they think that socialism is libertarian. I personally disagree. I don't think socialism is libertarian. I think socialism is forced collectivism, and that's my thoughts on that issue. And we have Biden is out of the race. Trump is still attacking him from nytimes.com by Donald Key. And I said I didn't comment on that one, but yeah, it just goes to show you that Trump's playbook is for Biden. But that being said, I think he can easily switch it up to attack Harris or anyone else, especially with how crazy the Democrats have gotten and how, since the Republicans are out of office right now, they're the voice of reason. But, if Trump gets in office, then the Democrats will be the voice of reason again. So that just goes to show you, it really just depends who can market themselves better. And normally, I would say the non-incumbent party can market themselves better than the incumbent party. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Of course, the media really, won't change regardless of who's in power and who isn't in power. Then we have the Dems telling their NPC base they raised $81 million in grassroots donations right after Alexander Soros endorsed Kamala is to convince them that other people are super duper excited about Kamala because that's what matters, whatever people think, from the redheaded libertarian on Twitter. And I posted that, and I said in response, Dems, fuck billionaires, except that their last name happens to be Soros. They always are against money in politics and stuff like Citizens United, but then when the Soros family comes up, suddenly it's all they're all for stuff like that. And if you believe all that grassroots money is actually organic, I don't think you were cut out for the intellectual rigor of my local high school special education class, I would say. And that's my thoughts on that issue. People care about Trump, and I can see his fundraising being kind of more legitimate, but no one cares about Harris. And if you think $81 million just kind of appeared in grassroots donations, I got some swampland in the Everglades to sell you. Then we have capitalist thugs release body cam video of fatal shooting of black woman in her home from CNN.com by American MWAF. And I said in response, it's horrible, but I really don't want the media to turn this into another George Floyd. We already things that are kind of crazy enough already, I would say. And that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have a huge flow of libertarians from Liam McCollum on Twitter, and I posted that, and he shared a screenshot of an article. Autism can be reversed. Scientists discover trial of two non-identical twin girls also found symptoms can be reduced to a national level from Joe Pinkston, science correspondent, July 20th, 2024. And I said in response, fuck that. No one's taking my libertarian autism from my cold, dead hands. And that's my thoughts on that issue. I think if people want to cure their autism, I think they should be able to, but I don't think they should be forced to do so if they don't want to. Then we have J.D. Vance's wife faces racist online backlash from far-right social media posts from abcnews.go.com by Donald Key. And, yeah, I definitely think that's just kind of I talked about this before, and I think the last episode, but I think that's just kind of a narrative of, people, there are more articles about than people actually complaining about it, and that's my thoughts on that issue. Then we have Trump lover, authoritarian oligarch Elon Musk is already causing Kamala Harris problems, attacking free speech. People are having trouble following Harris's campaign, X, formerly Twitter account, from newrepublic.com and by American WWF, and that's cross-referenced in the news subreddit. And I say response, I linked to a tweet from my state Libertarian Party that was about LP Buck's Twitter. The Bucks County Libertarian Party had its account suspended. They said they sent Twitter a cease and desist notice. Dear Elon Musk and the CEO, please see this letter below. A copy has been sent to your registered agent. We recommend X immediately cease and desist ongoing censorship of LP Bucks County. LP Bucks represents over 200 registered libertarians in Pennsylvania, and the overstep has caused irreparable harm to the party and its members. And I added, Elon definitely does have some problems when it comes to free speech. I'd still take him over Reddit CEO Steve Huffman, though. Reddit somehow seems to be even worse when it comes to censorship and astroturfing. And that's my thoughts on that issue. And then we have another Republican politician called pretending to be a black person online by CH for Lux. That's crosswords from the Parlor Watch subreddit. It's a tweet from Joey Manarino, who tweeted, I'm a true black American woman. I've been black all my life. I was born black and I will die black. My mommy black, my daddy black. I'll never cast ballot for that Kamala Harris woman as long as I live. Trump all the way, all day, every day. And it doesn't look like he's a black one. It looks like he's more an Italian-American man. But, yeah, it just goes to show you that a lot of social media is astroturfing, and it's important to remember that. And that's just not for, that's on both sides of the aisle as well. And that's my thoughts on that issue. So we're gonna see if it looks like there's nothing new to add, and it looks like we're gonna wrap up there. I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.